Hello, everybody. Sorry, I had a bad idea and I thought I'd do it. Hello, how is everybody doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Audio crackling? Is anyone else having any issues with the audio? Before I go any further, because there shouldn't be anything. I'm not seeing anything on my end, but obviously. Okay, cool. But yes, I hope everybody is thoroughly excited about the new Warhammer. I'm celebrating the new Warhammer, or Warhammer 40k, by painting models that are like 30 years old. um, but yeah, for people that haven't been here for might not have been around at the time. I used to do these every now and again. I think I probably only did like 6 of them or something in total. But yeah, I've been been wanting to do more kind of painting on stream again. So since Snipe's not feeling super great, I thought I'd give it a shot again. So yes, this is very like ad hoc. Hence why I don't have one of those nice cutting boards that everyone uses as their background when doing these things. I just have an old copy of The Independent, apparently, which was just the newspaper that we happen to have. I believe we actually bought it entirely so that we'd have like newspaper as opposed to buying it to read it. I can't imagine a reason why we'd buy a newspaper in Britain, but hey ho. But yeah, the real trick was finding a sheet of newspaper for the background that wasn't really depressing. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be painting some grots. Here is one that is mostly painted. So I'm going to be doing that. And I will be finishing off painting this because all that I have left to do are its weapons, which just require like another coat of lead belcher, maybe a top up of the Watt Block bronze. Yeah. Then block out the black and then wash it all and highlight it, which won't take very long. And I might start some grots they've got like one coat of green on them and that's it. So I might do some of those as well. Oh, and if I get really, really bored, I even have my gun drones to hand. Should I want to do those? So I'm casually shilling your holidays. But let's see. Everyone's saying, God, not even a good newspaper. Is there such a thing as a good British newspaper? They're all terrible. Just different versions of terrible. Gomez. AC, I am not able to show those yet because they are currently in a Dettol bath. They've had one scrub in that, but they're currently getting their second one because the paint did not want to leave quite as easily as I did. And Trissart, I know you're saying it about yourself, but let's not have that word in our chat for any reason. Let's see. Favorite reveal from today. I mean, there's a few bits and pieces. Like the new edition in general is cool. It seems like it's going to do a lot of the things that I kind of wanted from it. Because like things like vehicles being so vulnerable to being bogged down was a kind of pain. The way in which aircraft behaved, like that's kind of sucky. But yeah, and yeah, some of the stuff that's been leaked looks very interesting. I personally don't have as strong an opinion as a lot of people seem to have about the logo. Like, we've had the same logo for 22 years. So, like, I don't mind there being a new one. I don't mind the design either. Oh, hey, Lynn, what camera am I using? It's some kind of... Oh, fuck, I've forgotten who even makes it. It's actually bothering me now. It's a Logitech HD Pro webcam C920, is what it is. I actually don't. The whole thing about the logo overlapping on the one side, like, I want to get it into, like, Photoshop myself and, like, level things out, because it looks to me like the top of the W is aligned with the bottom of the R, which is sort of the logical way to do it. So I don't think it's... I honestly didn't notice it until people kept making a big deal about it. I personally don't care. And yeah, but you know, if it bothers other people, fair enough. And yes, it does look flat, but that's because I was joking to Longfang and Oculus earlier. The bevel and emboss tools might as well have been removed from Photoshop sometime around 2007. Yes, I'm selling out again. But yeah, the whole thing with the new Necrons looks interesting. Yeah. Oh, and I saw something about putting some stuff up about StarQuest. If you want to pop that in the Discord somewhere and just like tag me or something, and I'll go and take a look after the stream. The logo changing is the only thing I know about the new Warhammer. Well, basically, new edition that is. It seems like it's more of an 8.5 than a full-on 9th. Which, admittedly, you could say about 4th, 5th, 6th, and 6th, which were kind of the same thing, which is fine. By the way, what was that model you had on your camera? What, the webcam? It was a 2.9. Let me check. It doesn't say it on it, so I have to like look at the properties. It's a Logitech HD Pro webcam C920, apparently. Yeah, loads of people have it because it's I think it's like one of the cheapest HD cameras, HD webcams. That's pretty good. I've not used it for this sort of thing before. I've only used our old camera. So I've had to like lock the focus to be about here, so I can paint. So if my hands look blurry, that's why. Where are we? Sorry. So what are we painting now? Okay, well, yeah, let's start actually doing the thing. So, what I should have done, if I was a smart person, I would have got all my paints out from my box next to me and put them down so that I could do them. But yeah, basically, what I'm probably going to do first is... So, I've been painting this, which is a Space Crusade Dreadnought Chaos Dread was sent in to me by Inquisitor Grox. He very generously sent me a message and was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I was like, "Yes, I really, really do." But yeah, it's currently being painted as sort of a... basically, if you remember in the space...
For the staff room!
What? Oh, what? Okay. Oh wow. I give me 1 second, Issa, so I can read that properly because my little message thing is not showing the full message. So I need to pull that up because wow, thank you a lot. Jesus Christ, thank you. Wow. Give me 1 second so I can properly read it. Because yeah. Oh god, why is fucking Streamlabs so bad? Let me log in. Do recent events. Just want to say that both of you are a big part of my life for a while. The big reason being able to deal with mental health. Wanted to thank you for that. Sorry if it sounds tacky. I'm bad with social stuff. No, thank you very, very much, Issa. I'm glad that we could. I'm really glad to know that we're able to like help out with that stuff because we've made we make no like no bones about it. Like both Snipe and I have trouble with mental health. I literally have my fucking anti-anxiety medication right here. So if we're able to help with that, then that is really nice. And thank you very, very much for the for such a generous donation. Thank you. Oh, and also thank you, A Roll and Bread, for hosting as well. What was I saying? Oh yes, somewhat big distraction. But yes, this Space Crusade Dread. I'm painting it. If you remember in the Space Marine video game, the version of Emperor's Children they had in that were sort of in this kind of color scheme, where it's a kind of the classic color scheme, but chaosified, and I actually really, really, really like that, and that's what I've done here. So it's got the Emperor's Children little logo free-handed on there and Slaneshi symbol. Actually, looking at this now, I'm just gonna have a bit of a fiddle with the webcam because it is coming out way more blue than it should do. Let me just have a little bit of a fiddle here. Do. There we go. Let's try and get that to like. That looks a bit closer to reality. I know it's not much, but you do what you can with these things while I'm trying to work it out on the fly. But yeah, so I decided to paint it in sort of those colours because I just really like the look of it. Now I have these two weapons to paint for it. I do have another one, but it's I think it's the flamethrower one. But it's the top part of it is a bit weakened, and I'm sort of loath to like keep taking it off and on. So yeah, I'm going to be painting these. Strangely, this is about the same height as a regular Dreadnought. I will actually prove that to you if you give me 1 second. Nobody tell Snipe that I have stolen one of her Dreadnoughts. But yeah, that's this is Luca. And yeah, you can see them nearly the same height. Like, this is obviously a lot bulkier, but yeah, they're bigger than you think they are. And then I knock everything over because I'm a smart man. The little grumpy face on the front of it is in fact part of the sculpt. It's really wonky, actually. It's kind of a pain in the arse to paint because it's like all over, like it's kind of higher on one side than the other. You can see it when you put it like dead on, so it's a bit weird. But I do think it actually ages quite well. Like as a model when it's painted up kind of in a modern kind of scheme and modern kind of style and way of doing it. But yeah, what I also did was I added a bunch of stuff to the base. As you can see, like, this was originally just completely flat, so I put a few bits of plasticard on to make these kind of raised bits, and these are just random bits and pieces attached onto there. But it seems to work okay, because it's trying to emulate the actual, like, board of Space Crusade. Thought it would be, yes, thought it would be a good thing. And yes, as a lot of people point out, it is very Ed 209. So yeah, let's find the fucking paints I need. But yes, it is Emperor's Children insignia, yes. All free-handed because I am a stubborn fucker and refuse to learn how to use transfers well and just hate using them anyway. So I end up just, yeah, fucking doing it the old-fashioned way. So yeah, oh god, okay. I didn't think this through. I should have got all these out first. Okay, give me 1 second. What I will do is I'm going to put some music on in the background because obviously I won't be talking 100% of the time. I would basically I'm just using fucking Spotify. This is totally gonna get fucking flagged, so you probably won't be able to like watch any of the VOD on this. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I'm gonna put some stuff on. What I'm gonna do first is I'm going to put on the new album by Jeff Rosenstock, which is really good. So if just let me know how loud this is, because I want it just to be kind of down low, a bit lower than that. That should be fine. You should be able to completely hear me, and it should just be kind of mellow in the background whilst I find my fucking paints. Okay. Lead Belcher. Warlock. Good old Abaddon Black. Oh yes. Okay, that should be everything I need for now. Oh, congratulations on your £5 win, Hans. Okay, okay. This is the part of the stream I didn't think. Where do I put the paints? Okay. Like, the last time I did this, we weren't even using the same fucking desk, so I'm like, I have no idea where anything should be. Remember to shake your paints. Okay. This is just a quick coat, just because the first one didn't quite cover everything, so doesn't have to be neat. I am a big believer in very rough first coats, fuck everything up, and then just fix it afterwards. Because I honestly switch. So, like, I can get them mixed up, and it doesn't matter, because they all have different colours. That's a small point that you probably all know and could logic out yourself, but just in case you haven't, I thought that'd be a useful thing. Yes, these were the things I ran out of primer on, but I got more, so I can now. I really like the rules here. I wish everyone IRL followed them. What, the rules of the stream? Can't even remember what the rules of the stream are currently. Oh yeah, basically the don't be dicks ones. Yeah, yeah. It would be nice if you could just simply put a chat rules thing saying don't do a racism, and then it'd just stop the concept. That'd be great. But unfortunately, some people are just dickheads and then get very upset because, I don't know, a book has a black space marine on it, and apparently that's a big deal if you're a fucking chud. But yes. Oh shit, no, I need to do the black first, don't I? And then drop everything all the time. Yeah, I'm working on the Space Crusade Dread. All goes well. Should get it all finished tonight. Because it's not like there's a huge amount to do, it's just these guns and, well, yeah. And then I'll paint some goblins, because it's a day with a vowel in it. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this little bit on the top, but, well, it's black for now. We'll do something else with it later. Oh, stay safe, Brad. Oh, yeah, these things do look a little bit like Devourers, yeah, you're not wrong. Looks like a mechanized, like they reverse engineered them and made them into a mechanical version or something. But there you go, if you ever want to make mechanical Tyranids, look at Space Crusade rocket launchers. I'm sure that's the thing everyone has wanted to do. Sorry, I'm new to this painting stuff. When do we get to the part where he knocks over the paint? I very rarely knock over paint. It's washes that are the problem. And I'm being very careful, so unlikely for me to actually do it. Gotta take 3 washes together in a triangle shape. Yeah, it's weird. Like, It is my firm belief that the only reason that Games Workshop washers are shaped as they are is because they wanted to just carry on using the same old paint stands. So they couldn't do wider pots, they can only do taller pots. So we've left with this situation where we have these ludicrously unbalanced pots that fall over at the slightest provocation. And people have to make fucking devices in order to make sure that you don't fall over. Especially because, like, I've noticed that a lot of them, because of the nature of the lids, they have a habit of, like, snapping back. Which, if you don't have much wash in them, means that they can just fall over. Like, you're not even touching them, they can just fall over. You have to just be very careful with them. Yeah. They're one of those things. Like I tend to just do stuff like this, or and normally I'll actually pin things, and like in a place that's hidden, and then you can sort of just connect them together afterwards. But I can't really do that with these because there's nowhere that's kind of solid enough to put a pin in that's hidden. It's sort of just a weird one. I think as a general rule, outside of the paints and the brushes, I guess, because it was just simpler for me to get this. I tend not to use a lot of Games Workshop's like hobby stuff. Like these stands are pretty good because I just wanted one to try it. But it's like their clippers and glues and stuff are usually just overpriced versions of things you can existingly get. Could roll that, yeah. I suspect those barrels are probably going to end up looking a little patchy just because the nature of how I've decided to do the metal. But that's okay. It's chaos. It can look a little bit wonky. How far are you in the Clone Wars series? I am currently, I think like 4 episodes through season 3. It's like around that. We've just had the like assault on Camino. It's quite good. I like the vids where you accidentally inflate the price of Rogue Trader Hero Dreadnoughts on eBay. Yeah, I don't... So yeah, if people don't know, I put it up on Twitter because Rogue Trader Dreads are quite expensive to buy right now. Like, they're all like 40, 50 quid on eBay. And it's like... Normally they were like, 15 to 25 quid. Like, the low end was rare that you found them that cheap, admittedly. But, that's how I got mine. And ever since I did that video, they've been really expensive. I'm like, I don't think that's related, because, like, the channel's not that big. But also, it doesn't take that many people to want to buy them to, like, escalate the price. So, yeah. I think I've got that all covered. Okay, I'll let that dry, and then I can tidy that up and edge highlight it. No, these handles. I was sort of like, because like previously I just like put a bit of blue tack on the top of a old paint pot and just stick things to it, and that was fine. And then these came out, and I was like, I want to try one and see if they're any good. And it took us ages to get one because they all sold out instantly. But then we got one, and honestly, I use it all the time. We actually have 2 because I got one with Conquest as well. They're really good. Goes back to one of your Codex compliant videos. Have you ever tried to buy one of these? There are certain issues where Oh, yeah. There are certain issues. You mean, like the fucking everyone calls them Saturnine, but they're not strictly speaking Saturnine because that's not a thing that we've got a video thing of, but the Mark 1 Terminators that are basically impossible to get hold of. Well, they're not impossible, it just depends if you want to spend 50 quid on a single Rogue Trader miniature. And I love Rogue Trader miniatures, but I am not going to do that. Because, yeah, those are ridiculous to get hold of. I'd love to get one. I actually have a project in sort of the planning phase of taking a Gravis captain and turning him into a modern interpretation of one of them. The real trick is figuring out how exactly to do these shoulder pads. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, like... I want to basically measure it up against the size of some pads from things like Helverins, things like that. And then see if I can get hold of some of those. Because I think that might be okay, but otherwise I'm probably just going to have to sculpt them myself. Which, fine, I'll do it, but I don't want to if I can avoid it, you know? Yeah, the eternal thing with washers is just waiting for the feckin' things to dry. I'm under lights as well. I guess I'll do a little bit on one of my grots whilst waiting. Let's do this guy. Because I've got like 4 of these that are mostly done. You just need a little bit more. Bring in this light a little. Oh yeah, that's one hell of a shadow. But yeah, all skin tone done and stuff, and lots of flat colours laid out. I just need to, you know, do the non-flat colours. So let's do some of the black on him. How did the Sat9 label get slapped onto those Terminators anyway? I think it is entirely because they're... Sat9 Terminators are just a name from a thing we've got in a book somewhere of an old kind of Terminator armor, and since that's the one type of Terminator armor that no one knows what it's called, because it's never been given an official name, and we're missing any art of one particular one, it gets attached to it. It's a perfectly logical thing to do, and I personally, like, when people do it, I'm just like, fair enough, everyone knows what you mean when you say it, so, you know, what are words but a collectively agreed set of noises that mean a thing? There is some art of one, but I do not believe it gives a specific name for the armor type. I might be wrong there because I don't have the thing. And most people don't have the art book, so it, you know... it sort of doesn't really change, like when lots of people are wrong about something. It's a weird one. I'm doing characters in 3D Blender. If I can get good, I'll make an old style Terminator. Go for it. Depending on how quick I finish the other bits, I might take you through the absurd recipe I have for grot skin. It is far too complex for 3-point models. But it gets the tone I really like, so, I mean, I guess it all works out in the end. That moment when you have some very intricate little things that you forgot to paint, that are between other things you have painted. It's great fun, love it. Would do again. Will do again. you seen the set 9 conversion by the Eternal Hunt uses Helldrake armor pieces for the shoulders? I presume it's... I'm not familiar with that person's individual name, but I think I have seen that conversion, yeah. It does work quite well. Oh, Duckman, absolutely. I have... my Blood Angels force is full of Rogue Trader miniatures. So I've got, like... you know, RTB01 Beakies right next to Primaris. It's quite fun. Sorry, I'm just swigging my Vimto. Okay, what needs to be done? I need to where is my Agrax Earthshade? I cannot do anything without my Agrax Earthshade. It is the modern Devlin Mud, so... Oh, hello there, Unity! And thank you for the raid! Hello, raiders! Oh, thanks for the resub there, Sketches. Did I just hear Vimto? Yes. Yes, it is cordial Vimto. It is outrageously sugary. It is ridiculous for a cordial. It should not exist. But it is the cordial that we have, because it was the only one at the pound shop at the time. And in these uncertain times, beggars can't be choosers. Oh, thank you for the resub there. Cheers, dude. And hello. Come to take your pants. Sorry, your paints. Pants. Okay, yeah, sure. Yes. I guess I need to pick another album to put on. Oh, fun thing. The version of this album, which was No Dream by Jeff Rosenstock, the version of it on YouTube has an interesting thing, because they put the whole album up and they actually just have a lady painting the cover art of the album just for the whole time doing it. So that's really fun. It like makes a whole album upload just be a cool little thing. And it's, as you have just heard, it is quite a good album. Or you probably thought that. Or maybe didn't. It's probably not your genre. I don't know. I liked it anyway. So much so that I'm going to put on another one of his albums. And You Can't Stop Me. No, not that album. His album from 2015 called We Cool? What's the next thing I need to do on this? Because I've done... Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to, like, get one of my other fucking grots to see if I've done a layer of paint, because it looks the same to me right now. Can't actually tell. The same. Yeah, probably close enough. Oh, by the way, here's a couple I painted the other day. So you see what they look like at the end. Yeah. Where is the white sauce that's causing that? Okay. Maybe if that's there, that'll better. Thing for me to figure out if I do this again. But yeah. Fortunately, the drawer full of grots is literally within reach if I stretch and then make my voice do this. There we go. music reminds me of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Well, I mean, it's funny you should say that, because Jeff Rosenstock, the guy this is, you know, the stuff of, used to be in a band called Arrogant Sons of Bitches, who were like a third wave ska band. So when you think of things like Goldfinger, Superman, it's basically that. Except I think the Arrogant Sons of Bitches were a lot better than Goldfinger. No slight on Goldfinger. Just I like Arrogant Sons of Bitches. What's it called? Fucking 3 Cheers for Sweet Disappointment. I'm bad at names. It's just 3 Cheers for Disappointment. Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm probably getting it mixed up with the My Chemical Romance album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, or something. Whatever. Yeah, 3 Cheers for Disappointment is one of my favourite, sounding albums of all time. Just, the mix on that album I love so much. Got Pain is currently one of the rare minis that holds a gun like it's supposed to be held. Well, the thing is, Grots are marginally smarter than orcs. So if there's one greenskin that's likely to do such a thing, then it is them. And the Goldfinger's version 99 Red Balloons is better than the original. We used to do a cover of their cover in Fight and Evil. I was mentioning this. I think it was on a stream or something the other day. Like how, like when we play gigs again, like when we occasionally get together again to like do another random gig. We still usually end our sets with a bit of 99 Red Balloons. It's just like a thing. Just a very satisfying song to play, honestly. No pressure, but 67 viewers right now. Oh yeah, that's a thing. Don't show us your sacrilegious painting habits or anything. What, you mean like I'm painting right from the fucking pot right now? It doesn't matter if you paint from the pot if you know what you're doing. Or about 69 viewers, or at least briefly. Excellent. That's all we need. Yes, that's nice. Thank you, Longfair. It matters even less when you don't know. I would have palette most paints, but somebody's too thin to water. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, honestly, nice. Thank you, little pink bastard. I'm a big proponent of, like, you do what works for you. You know. I do. I mean, I don't actually even have my palette out right now, honestly. But like, I use a palette sometimes. I don't use it other times. I know which paints I need to use it with. I know which paints I don't. I'm not entering fucking Golden Demon. I'm just painting up things how I want to paint them. And I think there's this like dogmatic view that some people get into their heads about what's the right way to do things and what's the wrong way to do things, and it's like, no, it's just there's lots of ways to do it. Some of which work well for some situations, some of which work well for others, and the real trick is just knowing which ones work. And it's, you know, what works for you. But then I do like to think of myself as the an amalgam of bad habits that over time has become pretty decent at harnessing those bad habits into being able to paint models well enough. And certainly I'm not going to spend a fucking ages like doing it when I'm just painting goddamn grots. What I want to do now? There we go. Good luck on your quest for groceries. I say flesh color, I mean, you know, fucking whitey flesh, but, you know. Oh, thank you, Shadow Lord, for the sub. Thank you. My philosophy, yeah, it's fine. I can fix that. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I just saw a thing that Uni said about like showing all the mistakes and stuff during streams and like letting people learn through that. Like, that's cool. Good, good. There we go. Oh god, this is a horrible angle to do that. So regurgitating a set of arbitrary painting rules explain to people why and how people can develop and break their own set of rules that works them. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, it's the whole thing of that there is, like, let's be honest. This is a hobby. Like, you can do it for a career. You can paint, like, do commission painting. You can paint professionally for companies. Like, you can do that. But for most people, it's a hobby, and how much you want to engage with it, how much time you want to put into it is entirely up to you. And like, if you want to like just have it good enough that it looks good in like an army, cool. Like, if you like me, you want to do a bit more, but you don't want to spend your entire life painting, then, you know, there's techniques and ways to get better and stuff. But yeah, it's like basically making out like everyone has to adhere to this particular standard of like how to do things. It's like, if someone wants to paint all their orcs bright fluorescent pink and that's just what they want to do, I mean, sure, go for it. It's your models, you paid for them, it's your time, who cares? What was I looking for? Oh yeah, I was gonna highlight the black because that so much wash on those fucking guns that it's nearly dry now, so I can do that then. Paint orcs purple, no one will spot them. Exactly. I just realised I've got nearly everything done on this except the hair. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I'm generally not the hugest fan of hair on orcs. Possibly because hair squigs are like one of the stupidest bits of lore. Like, great, but also very stupid. Turns out when you're trying to edge highlight a very vague bit of a sculpt, you make a lot of mistakes. So that goes into the fix it later pile. Yeah, absolutely mod hail. That's a very good way of doing it. Like, telling people they did things wrong is not helpful. It's, you tell them how to improve, not how to be what you think they should be. Okay, I'm going to try and move this light. I'm sorry if you hear smashing around. See if this works a little better. A little better. I'll try and figure this out for next time. Although, admittedly, that now is a light very close to my head, which is not ideal. No one asked, but this is my favourite song on the album. Mostly because I really love the bridge. Try the criticism sandwich technique. Yeah, it works surprisingly well, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. I'll just do the hair the way I normally do it. When I started just doing a few bits on this grot, I wasn't like thinking, oh, I'll just finish this one. Like, that wasn't my initial thought, but I guess that's what I'm doing now. I've actually not finished much this month because I have so much work to do. I've like finished painting like 2 grots so far, and that's it. I've done a bunch of building, and I've done a lot of bits and pieces. I've like done a few big things that are in batch, but yeah. Guess I'll get it. By the time next video rolls around, I'll have plenty done though. I've got a whole month. First reaction I got to my painting was that I was doing it wrong. Well, the apt response to someone telling you you're doing it wrong is to jam your paintbrush in their eye socket. Maybe don't do that, but, you know, think about it. Yeah. What paint used the little leather cloak on him? Oh, that. Oh, god damn it. Yeah. I am seeing the issues I have with my thing. That's just a really little simple thing. It's just... Steel Legion drab, and then I gave it a quick wash of Agrax Earthshade, and then highlighted it with Baneblade Brown. That's all it was. It doesn't look. It looks fine for like little bits like this, because obviously it's just a little grot. But spend a bit of time and care on it, and you can get a nice thing. And if you want to, you could like go a bit higher, like a bit more of a highlight on it, and use something like Ushabti Bone or something for like the highest kind of highlight. That might work quite well. Actually, thinking about that, I'll probably do that for the little band that's holding his hair together. Done this before I blocked all black. That would have been the sensible thing to do, but oh well, you live, you learn. Okay. Oh shit! I didn't even see that come up. Oh, shit. Okay, thank you for the raid there, Scarlet. totally fucking missed that. No, thank you. Okay, yeah, shit. 72. Ah! I brought in this party and you ignore me. I was painting goblins. You know how I am. I can't help it. I get very, very into my goblin painting. I wonder, do you do Easter eggs with your figs? I once seen that saw a guy who made a Fire Warrior team with wartime reporters in the squad. I usually hide chickens on my models. I do little bits here and there. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like it's, I used to be a bit more into that kind of thing, but like now it's more just a case of like adding little details that amuse me and no one else. Like how I'll occasionally put like orc runes and things, like paint them on there. That say things. So I've got like a Dakar jet that's got the symbols for GRC written on it, which is Grot Revolutionary Committee. Things like that. So it surprises me that Snipe will only have one emote. I'm literally going to be making one later tonight. So, been meaning to... said I was going to hit. Yeah, apparently Scarlett is just going to assault me when I meet her. So, you know, that's just the thing I have to deal with. I already had Chrissy slap me. I think Wib should be talking his goblin voice. Well, you see, it depends, because there's my goblin voice that is from reading Inquisitor. And I can't do that because that involved me being very ill. However, if it's my normal voice, and that is, for those that don't know, my D&D goblin, whose name is Normal, then he just speaks like my terrible, terrible Willem Dafoe impersonation from the Beyond Two Souls thing. So he... Voice from Codex Compliant. Did I ever do a goblin voice in Codex Compliant? I don't know if I've really... I don't know if I've ever done a goblin voice, have I? There's like 20, yeah. Why did you get slapped? I have questions. Oh, Chrissy on Twitter. She literally works with my dad. So when we met up for Purge the Pit, he told her to slap me. So I got a slap. It was as kind and gentle as it could be, and I appreciate that. That wasn't Wib singing the song? Oh no, no, I wasn't singing the song, no. I think it's not fair for you. We watch your stuff a lot, and so quoting and citing what you did ages ago is unfair. Oh, it's not unfair. It's just I can't really, you know, like, isn't it Snipe that sings the orc song? I still don't know what we're doing. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, just the orcs thing. Yeah, it's Snipe that did that, I think. Fun fact, actually, my singing voice is fucking appalling. I very briefly sang in Fighting Evil is Cool, because the guy who was the existing singer was having, like, he was going through some stuff, and he wasn't up to singing in, like, practice, and so I gave it a shot, and my singing voice is fucking appalling. Like, so bad. I see this whole stream's a capitalist ploy to have the paper's ads plastered on screen. Well, since this is from the 11th of July 2019, have fun trying to get that thing. And it was like the only page that I could find that wasn't like something depressing or like, I mean, because this was got last year, so it was like everything was to do with Brexit. So you know. I don't want to inflict Brexit on people any more so than they already have to have it inflicted upon them by, you know, being a living human who exists. Sorry, I just completely taking it off the screen there for a second. Just neatening up this warp block. And then I can highlight that stuff. And then I can get the Dreadnought done. It's a reminder of my inability to go on holiday with how could you? If it helps, the last time I went abroad was like... Fuck. Like 2010? And that's only because I won a competition, like... Adding a bit of Agrax to that little ponytail. And I can highlight that, and then I just got to do the hair, and then he's done. Reminds me, can I commission you to pay you to print small posters of the illustrations you've already done? Like the And Biscuits for All cover, for example. The problem is that a lot of the stuff that I've done that wasn't explicitly for print wouldn't scale up super well because it was like just done to just be on screen. Something like And Biscuits for All was not designed to be anything bigger than like that big. So I don't know how well it'd scale, honestly. I can certainly, because obviously I don't own the... I guess I technically own the rights to it because like I'm in the band, but like that stuff I'd have to like ask the other band members like how they feel about that kind of stuff. That's fine. I prefer small posters like postcard size. I might. I can't go check because it's in the bedroom and Snipe's asleep. And I don't want to wake her up by rummaging around under the bed. But I think we might still have an outrageous excess of And Biscuits for All covers. Because they were just inserts, because just little things that went inside sleeves, because it wasn't like a proper like plastic jewel case. It was just a sleeve because it was an EP. I might just have those, so you can have one of those if you like. Just give you that. I'll figure out if we've still got them, and if we have, then just give me a mailing address, and I'll just mail them to you whenever I get a chance if you like. But yeah, because it turns out if you order, like, oh, we made 200 prints of this album, and then you order, like, little postcard size things to go inside stuff, quite often they'll just give you, like, 500 because they're like, we can't be bothered to print smaller numbers, so you just get them for free. So we had a ton just left over. I've got a bunch of flyers for the same reason. Okay, start doing some highlighting, which I'm doing for the Warp Lock with Retributor armor. Never really know the best way to like highlight bronze, honestly, but this looks okay. It's very, very gold. See you, Lynn. Good luck with the writing. Yeah, orangey gold stuff does tend to work quite well. This is honestly a bit more, is way more like gold than I normally use, but I started doing it on the other stuff because I just wanted to see how it looked, and well, you know, when you started doing something, you kind of got to see it through. Okay, this one's an interesting one. Highlighting a cone. Okay.
I should swap to my other brush. This is totally the wrong brush for this. Yes, I am sure an airbrush is fantastic for highlighting cones, although not super helpful right now. So I will give and I say this with like, I'm not saying this about anyone who is in the chat, so don't worry, I'm not like digging at anyone. But if you do own an airbrush, I have one piece of advice for you. Stop fucking talking about it. When people say are having an issue and you have a solution that involves an airbrush and they obviously don't have an airbrush, don't proselytize about airbrushes to them. It drives me fucking nuts. It's like, I get it. I know that they're good. I don't know what it is about people that have airbrushes. They just do it all the time and it drives me nuts. Maybe try getting a good base cover down with an airbrush. Yeah, like that shit. Like, you know, when I was talking, like, whenever I talk about things like, oh, I need to pick up more primer or whatever, I just get people come out the woodwork and like, oh, you should totally like get an airbrush. Like, no, I can't. You don't have room for one. I don't need one. Like, it's fine. I obviously know what I'm doing. Yeah, sorry, just a small aside. It just, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. But you get a similar effect airbrush with airbrush highlighting with dry brushing. Yeah, you can. Yeah. But yeah. It'll do. It'll do. This is another album, isn't it? What earth? Ah, yes, this is playing from his first album. Okay. Let's have something a bit different. As much as I like you, Jeff. What shall we have? So subsections of airbrushes are like vegan / cot fitters in the painting world. Yes! It's like, there's nothing inherently wrong with having one or using them. Like, in fact, it can be a good thing. Much like, you know, nothing wrong with going vegan. And in fact, that's probably the most sensible thing to sort of go that way, like, with the world in general. Like, but there's a certain, like, type of them that is the one that everyone thinks of because they're the loudest. It has nothing to do with, like, the actual thing in and of itself. It's just, it attracts a certain kind of person, and when they get their teeth into it, they become the most insufferable people on the planet. It's bizarre. I say that's someone who's tried to go like vegetarian and just fucked it up, basically. Like, I want to do it because it's I like animals too much. What the fucking jeffing piss was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to go find a new album to play. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Wasn't quite what I meant.
Welcome to Malcolm 24-Hour News. First, the headlines.
Flooding is rife in the Pacific
Okay.
Ocean as scientists discover it is entirely underwater.
A new study shows that 100% of divorcees were previously married.
Could you be at risk?
And experts cannot conclusively prove that all music ever made is not the work of terrorists.
We go live now
Okay.
with our band in the field.
Okay, this is a band called Call Me Malcolm, who I've recently started listening to. Yes. I haven't actually listened to this album yet, so... It's called Me, Myself, and Something Else, the album. He just listens to Fox News. There is not a power on this earth that would get me to listen to that fucking toss. Sorry, this is very fiddly, so I'm just going to be very quiet. Fucked up a little bit. What do we say? We say we'll fix that later. This is painting in preparation for asserting your dominance over Kiri. Somehow, I don't think my grots are going to be able to deal with his dreadnoughts. It will be fun to find out, though. We'll have to sort something out when the world isn't, you know, in the end times. If these are the end times, who do you think will end up Stormcast? I mean, Longfang, obviously. Someone's got to be Hamilcar. Okay. Now we're at the later point to start fixing this. Okay, so what I need to do there is to go over that with a little bit of warp lock. And then give it the same wash as it previously had, and that should come out alright. The gold neatened up, and then I just need to Gonks are good droids. There is a lot to be said for the humble Gonk droid. It lacks pretension. I approve of that. Okay, there we go. There's the rack of missiles. So, just need to do the highlight on the I want to call it bolt gun, but it's lead belcher. And then the black, and then that's all ready. Just have 1 second where I just stretch my back a bit, because I've been hunched over like a fucking goblin. God, more like Gonk. Isn't there like a whole thing in like the expanded universe of like Gonk droids that gained like a religious like fucking cult together or something, and would go around like Jehovah's Witnesses, like knocking on people's doors to spread the tale of Gonk, I guess. Gonk droids are weird because why would you give sentience to your spare battery? Well, that's sort of the Star Wars universe all over, isn't it? Like, why would you give sentience to these things and then constantly deny it? By the way, the silver highlight I'm using is Runefang Steel. Just in case you were wondering. Okay. Interesting parts about doing stuff on these really old models is that sometimes the detail is fucking tossed. And you have to just guess what the sculptor was trying to do.
That's not the brush with a good point on it.
You know, I've not listened to this album before, and it's pretty good. I'm very much enjoying this. Almost like I'm into ska or something. So much water on that. Okay. Sorry, this is a part where it's actually kind of a pain in the ass to fix if you don't get it, like, right first time, so I'm, like, really concentrating to try and have to do the least amount of work afterwards if possible.
Is this Call Me Malcolm? Yes, it is.
Good ear. What I should do is just put on like a fucking playlist of bands that I've played with so I get to look like a big fancy man. So there we go. Oh yes. I've played with Big D and the kids table, don't you know? Lovely chaps, lovely chaps.
They were actually really nice. Oh, Purple Burb, yeah, that's
watching the Venture Brothers from the start, like in 2020, is a weird trip. Because the early stuff has a lot of jokes that are like a bit much. Like, yeah, it's really funny, isn't it, using gay as a pejorative. Oh wow, you're really enamored by that one slur, aren't you? Okay. But over time, like, the show just becomes so good. It's like they learn from their mistakes. It's fucking wild. Like, the last couple of seasons are really fucking strong. Space Crusade Dreadnought gun? Yes, it is. Well, yeah. One of its guns. Okay. Now to do that all over again, but with this one. Speaking of bands we play with, an SL question, but who do you say is the literal worst band you played with, the worst pieces of shit? Now, I would not say any names, because that's very bad for business. But we've played with a bunch of shitheads over the time. Some of the worst ones, like, just for your day-to-day interactions with them, are bands, are like punk bands that still dress like it's 1977 because they think it fucking means something. It's like, it's just, you're just conforming to another ideal there. Like, yeah. We did play with a band once that was so bad in the actual music they played that one of the venue owner's brother literally pulled out duct tape and duct taped the room shut that they were playing in, walking away saying, now they can't hurt anyone else. It was the funniest shit, especially when they came out afterwards, and like, so they tore the duct tape when they were opening the door, and they were just like, what the fuck's going on here? And we all just had to sit there and like, oh, what's happening there? That was very funny. A very early gig we played. And I will never say anything about the actual like worst musical band that we ever played with, because they were also some of the loveliest people I've ever met. So, yeah, it's like, oh, you're terrible, but you're lovely. How's Dicko these days? He's doing okay. Not spoken to him properly in a little bit. But for obvious reasons, like, you know, the world being in a constant state of fuck. Hopefully, Fighting Evil will be gigging again at some point in the future. We always have plans to be playing gigs here and there, so like once things get back to normal, I have no doubt we'll be playing something like hopefully next year or something. We try to play like 1 gig a year, at least. but who knows what may happen. Everything's somewhat all over the place right now for obvious reasons. Personal favourite bands already living the rockstar lifestyle when they're 18 years old and playing for a crate of beer. Oh yeah. Kind of glad we're not the only band that played a burlesque night. That was an interesting experience. But there was a band we played with once. It was actually no, it wasn't one we played with. It was one that we travelled to see a friend's band, like at a Battle of the Bands. And if you don't know, Battle of the Bands are not like they are in the movies. It's basically whoever is the most local band wins because they can bring all of their like mums. Like that's how Battle of the Bands work. Fucking bizarre. But the band that won and had all their mums there, like the lead guitarist thought he was fucking Slash. He was not. But like he was wearing a tie which he like took off mid-set and like threw into the crowd, but no one gave a shit. So we got to watch him very awkwardly after the set go and retrieve it from the bit on the dance floor where it was just forlornly sitting. To be fair, for me, seeing Finding Evil is just another excuse to hang out with you guys. Oh, bless. Hey, Enraged Octopus. And welcome to this very unusual stream. So but yeah, no, Gav's thing, yeah. If you speak to anyone who's been in a band for any extended amount of time, they will have a lot of stories about just weird fucking people they've encountered in bands that are just bizarre. Like playing with a band that was like, you know, all fucking like blast beat drums. And they were like, oh yeah, we want to pull the drum kit into the center of like the dance floor because we like to like get in the crowd. So it like took ages to fucking change over to them because they were like on after us. And like by the time they'd done it, literally no one was there. So they spent all this time, and it was like just yeah, okay, good. You did good work there, lads.
Millions say their partner doesn't know the real them, an anonymous poll claims.
I don't know about you, Claire, but I'm definitely checking my partner's belongings for fake passports.
I've already reported mine to the police.
Better safe than sorry.
Just realised that if I finish what I'm looking at, I might actually finish 2 models on this stream, which for me is fucking ridiculous. Right. Okay, I think all I need to do now, apart from the black, is I'm just going to go over these because they're a bit big to just simply highlight is just a solid bit of colour. And I actually have to paint them properly. God damn it.
I recall at the end of your first year's painting log commenting that we've all helped shame you into painting your minis. Is this an expansion, a live shaming? Nah, honestly, I just felt like giving it a shot. You know, seeing, because it's been a long time since I've done one of these. And yeah, I have enjoyed it. Because I have this thing, because I am a fairly nervous and anxious person. That I get really paranoid that everyone is sitting there watching and judging me. And like, obviously you are, but like, I've just got to get used to that. But it does get me painting, and since I wanted to paint tonight anyway, I thought I'd combine this with a live stream. I see you, Mage Octopus. I know worries like some more. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Octopus. Because I'm paying attention to this, I'm kind of fading in and out of the chat a bit. So I'm like, okay. Just knocked that. I hope I didn't cover that in paint. No, good. Does the weirdest thing of like when you do something like this because you've suddenly got to paint like but in like a certain area, you end up like getting very kind of knocking things and stuff because you're not used to like having to keep yourself so contained. Okay. Well, this bit is nearly done. It's because what I'm going to do with these is I'm not actually going to glue these in place because they actually fit really snug. Is what I'm going to do is put it in there, and then if I need to get it out, I can get it out again. But now I can paint that top part because I don't know. I think I might paint it a different colour, just because I think that might be fun. But I needed to kind of get it all kind of together before I kind of realised. So yeah, there you can kind of see it like how it is in context. Pretty good. Probably give it the top bit of bronze, actually. That's probably what I'll do. Okay. I should do that now because, well, more as well. Is painting live a different kind of pressure compared to performing with the band? Yes, because I played live on stage for like a decade, so I'm very, very used to it. And the other side is that I'm part of a band there, I'm not on my own. So everyone's very focused on me now. Was there a reason aside from aesthetics for a square base? Because this is for Space Crusade, and it just has a square base, and the feet are molded into it. and I want to use it for Space Crusade, so yeah. Because it corresponds to the size of 4 squares on the Space Crusade board. Like, it's totally possible to remove it if you really want to, but since I didn't, I didn't. Keeping it in frame and having everything visible to trip paint it. Oh yeah. Yeah, Unity, I imagine. Yeah, because you've done this a lot more than I have. Does that mean there may be a Codex Compliant / Let's Play of Space Crusade in the future? In the future, we're currently in the slow thing of sourcing the bits we don't have, because we've got the box, we've got all the components apart from like a bunch of the models. I've got enough to make like a full Space Marine team from it, which I just need to like get them all repaired and back in shape. We've obviously got Necrons and Orcs and Grots and stuff, like they're all fine, and I've obviously got the Dreadnought. What I'm really missing is an era-appropriate Gene Stealer and the actual Chaos Marines from it. But I need those for something else as well anyway, so yeah. Basically, it's something we want to do, but it'll probably be a while down the line before we do a video on it. We might play a game of it on video at some point, because we don't need all the models for that, because we can play with proxy models then, and everyone understands, like, it's fine. But we actually have not one, but 2 other games that will be featured in Codex Compliant beforehand, like whole games. One of which we're currently waiting on being delivered. And it is a game that I literally didn't know existed, and then found out it existed, ordered, like found a copy still in cellophane, and managed to get it for like 20 quid. In like the space of 10 minutes, which was pretty great. It is not Man of War. It is not Man of War. Well, funny you should say that. It does actually get mentioned in the next video. I have a nice look about, might be able to find one of those Chaos Marines for you. Oh, thank you, Mod Hale. It's one of those things that's like, it's not super hard to get hold of, it's just, you know, like, knowing like the time that it takes to like, you know, paint all those things and stuff and get it all together for the video. It's doing one on Space Crusade is going to be a big one. Yeah. Is it Hungry Troll and the Gobbos? No, it's not, I'm afraid. It is literally a game that I had never ever heard of in my life, and then I just randomly saw a discussion about it. And I was like, wow, that sounds really fun, and then looked it up, and it was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's fucking buy that. It was bizarre. So what I'm doing currently, I know it's a little hard to see, it's a little hard to see for me as well, if that helps, is something that if you do paint old Games Workshop miniatures, or just old miniatures in general, will be a very familiar thing to you, which is
something that is supposed to be a hard edge, but is in fact not a hard edge. It's actually very rounded, so you have to like insinuate the like hard edge on it, rather than just edge highlight. You're creating an edge, really. I'm intrigued. The troll game is pretty damn obscure in the States. If it's more obscure than that, I am not going. I'm not gonna like go into what it is. It's just one of those things like I didn't know it existed. I don't know exactly how like super obscure it is, because that's the thing. Like. Oh shit! Yeah, Rancy, I've completely forgot to respond to. Yeah, shit. I just want to say, like, as a blanket thing, if you send me a message and I don't get back to you, it's not because I hate you or anything, or I'm being a dick. I mean, I guess I'm kind of being a dick by not responding, but I am made of nervous energy, and I go, oh, I'll respond to that, and then I put it off for a day, and then it gets awkward in my brain, and I don't end up doing it, and then a month passes, and then everything's awkward. I'll get back to you though. I'll do that after the stream. Oh, thank you for understanding, Rancid. Thank you. Oh, and just guessing about the games and stuff. I mean, I'll tell you what one of them is, because I've made enough fucking clues about it on Twitter. The next video's on Citadel combat cards. That's not the one that's obscure. Although, admittedly, most people don't seem to like super know about like the history of that, or like that it's had 4 fucking editions. Look, if I do it now, it'll be awkward. 1 week later, oh, now it'll be really awkward. 1 month later, oops. Yeah, exactly. Should invest in the old metal combi Scorcher attack squig war boss. I mean, I'd say yes, because I think that's a really nice model, but, I'm the person assembling a Space Crusade Dreadnought, so I may not be the most biased in this. Most unbiased, rather. Oh, this is so close to being done. Oh, let's taste it. You know, there's a version of Space Crusade Dread that can mount 4 weapons. Yes, it's was it from Mission Dreadnought, one of the expansions, I think. It's fucking huge. It's got longer legs and everything. Ridiculous. Okay. I'm just neaten this bit up, and then I just need to highlight the warp block, and then I am done. And then my chair can creak a lot. Okay, everyone hold your breath. Okay. There's a little bit of runoff onto the bone bit. It was actually done before the stream, apparently, so we'll just quickly fix that. Do you have any thoughts on 9th edition? Oh, yes. It sounds like they basically fixed everything that was wrong with 8th. They obviously not everything, like, but they seems like there's a lot of stuff they've done that I'm very much in favour of, like vehicles being able to shoot whilst in melee. Never made sense they couldn't. Things like that. Okay. Okay. I'm done, ain't I? We should allowed to shoot units engaged in melee. It's a balance thing more than anything else. There are a lot of things in 40k that are an abstraction more than like a lore thing. But yeah, there we go. That is one finished Space Crusade Dreadnought. I am quite proud of that. It's nothing like, you know, not the fanciest paint job or anything, but like, I think it allows sort of quite a simple sculpt to kind of pop. So I am quite happy with that. But yeah, so yeah, that is a model that is only a few years younger than I am. Oh, thank you very much, Isophis. Thank you. But yeah. That is a Dreadnought? Oh, yes, this is a Dreadnought. But yeah. So yeah, you can find these on eBay if you're at all interested in doing one of them. They tend to be a little expensive because they're like the big thing from the Space Crusade box set. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That means I've actually, you know, finished painting something big this month, so that's good. It is a Slaneshi Dreadnought, yes, because it's a Chaos Dreadnought specifically, they're supposed to be. And so I painted it up Slaneshi, because I hadn't seen one painted up like that before, so. But yes. But yeah, so now let's finish off this little grot. I might call it a day after that, actually. Obligatory Dreadnought. What's your model count up to this year? At this point, I think it was 44 at the end of the last video, so I haven't got much done this month for various reasons. So this will bring it up to 47, and this will be 48. I'm hoping before the next video to basically break my last year's like end goal, well end total, which, since I have a bunch of grots to paint, is very probable.
Yeah, painted up the dreadnought if nothing else because I thought my painting logs would get pretty boring if it was just regular ass grots all the way down from here on out.
After the break, a new viral video of a golden retriever on a surfboard leaves us asking,
Are your shorelines safe from amphibious canine attack?
yes, furry four-legged assassins stealing your children and killing your livestock
And
This is a very serious
driving
album.
up house prices.
and taking your jobs.
Good night, everyone.
One thing other than kill tier, and I hope GW would transfer to 40k, was alternating actions instead of full turns. I think the big problem with that is that it would so radically change the entire way the game works. Because on a small scale, that is an obvious sort of thing to go with, but on a larger scale, you'd have to rebalance basically everything. So yeah, I can see why they wouldn't do that, because that'd be they'd have to go over everything. Oh shit! I've just realised there's something on there. Dread I didn't do. No. I finished the album apparently. So it's playing another album. Okay. In massive slow playdown too. That is the other thing. Unity. Trying to keep track of what's activated and what hasn't activated. On the scale of 40k could get really fucking awkward. I mean, how many times do you forget to do something with your units as is, let alone when you've got to remember like which ones have gone and which ones haven't gone. Like, it's fine if you're doing like fucking Custodies or something, but like if you're running like me, I'm building a fucking Grot Rebellion army. Like,
Everything's a fucking nightmare to remember with that because there's so many fucking grots.
okay, probably won't notice, but yeah, just the little rims here. I just hadn't painted them. I play both Necrons and Space Marines on another next box set. Yes. Right, so that's sort of what I was going to do. Oh yeah, I was going to change the album. I'm now going to play Good Riddance to Good Advice by a band called Kill Lincoln. I'm trying to play more modern stuff because it's very easy to just, like, especially if you're into, like, third wave ska and stuff, because, like, people kind of get, like, very obsessed with, like, the bands that were big back in the day, and you kind of forget to listen to new stuff, so... Yeah, so builds all about like 9th and stuff.
As long as they don't break it so that like grot armies like become unplayably bad, I'm happy.
And saying that, I can probably just like proxy shit after that. And how I've got, you know, I can figure shit out.
I need another colour.
There we are. I'll grab the snow as well, because I need that in a sec.
A Valhallan blizzard.
Have you not heard the rumour that all the Primarchs shall turn into grots in 9th edition? Amazing! I thank you for that very real rumour. I'm just dry brushing some Eshin Grey over the pair right now, just to give it a little bit of the first layer of depth to it. So I want to sit there and just really painstakingly paint hair on fucking grots. Primarch Rogue Grot Dawn. Very good. Ferrous Grottus. Okay. There we go. That is a grot. One done grot. Well, I say done. I've got to put the thingy on his base, snow. But apart from that, he's done. Which I'll go and do now. Yeah, and I'll knock everything over again. I forgot to get my stick. My special GW branded stick. Yeah, it's funny actually. I was talking earlier about like a lot of the GW stuff just being really overpriced, and this is really overpriced. It's like just a little piece of plastic that's like a $5 or something. However, I tried to make one of these myself, like just made the tool myself, and it just wasn't very good. And then I had like real intricate stuff to do, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just try one of these. Because this is the thing for like putting technical paints on, and it's annoyingly really good. I wish it wasn't. And now to just put the snow on and squish it down. single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
What about today? Is today the worst day of your life?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up.
I'm giving away the things that made me stay. The mediocrity in a life that's too concrete. You know me, bent on complacency. I've had it up to here with the life that
Use if you really got brushes that are my tech only brushes. Yeah, I did used to use brushes as well, but honestly, this works really well. Works a lot better than brushes. But it depends on which stuff you're doing. If you're doing like the crackle paints, then this is next to useless.
wasted hours, they turn into weeks. I'm wasting my time and I'm slurring my speech. It's all true, I'm hiding my bruises. I'm burning out and making excuses. Familiar bar, familiar job, familiar reasons I forgot to let you know. It's time to go. I'm giving away the things that made me stay. The mediocrity in the life concrete. The hopeless goals I won't complete. Yeah, you know me, bent on complacency. I've had it up to here with the life that's filled with fear. So here's to better years. The city spins and I'm stuck on the ground.
Yeah, that'll do. Alright. So yeah, there we go. That is one more grot to the pile as well. That's a good, a fun bonus to the stream, I think. So yeah, I'll probably call it a day now. But I got a couple of things finished. Granted, I didn't actually do that much to either of them. It was just finishing them off, and somehow that took me nearly 3 hours. But you know, that's just me. You get how I don't get that much painted usually. But yeah, we finish at 69. Excellent. Let's see. But yeah, thank you very much for hanging out. I'll just turn off the music. Are the guns still removable on the Dread? Yes, they are, although it's quite a tight fit, so I'm not going to take them off now because it's quite possible I will damage some of the paint doing so. But the only other gun arm I actually have for them is a bit damaged anyway, and I don't really want to, like, add it on. But it means if I ever do get them, I can remove them, if necessary. So they can still come off. But yeah. Well, Unity, I didn't finish 2 models in 3 hours. I completed 2 already mostly complete models, which is not quite the same thing. But yeah, there we go. Quite happy with that. It means I've painted 4 models this month, so that's good. That means I'm getting a little bit, you know, it's not quite so bad. But yeah, but yes, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you had some fun shooting the shit, and I hope the tunes were good. I normally don't shill for things, but I fucking love music. I don't talk about it very much, so I played 2 of Jeff Rosenstock's albums. You should go listen to more of his stuff and his other bands, Bomb the Music Industry and the Arrogant Sons of Bitches. They're very good. I also listened to Call Me Malcolm, who once responded to me on Twitter, so they're cool. And Kill Lincoln, who I only listened to a few of their songs, but they're quite good. So yes. And yes, thank you, Crimson. I'll give Snipe your best. Thank you very much. But yeah, now I can try and disassemble all this shit from the computer table, because, wow, this is all in the way. So, good night, everybody. I hope you have a good rest of the evening whilst I stretch over and hit the end stream button. Goodbye.